Ready or not, here I come.
Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden, and I am walking into my studio about to do some video work. And as I was walking up the stairs, I asked myself a question, because I sensed that I was feeling nervous. I sensed that I was feeling hesitant. I sensed that I was feeling empty and had nothing to say. So the question I asked was, are you ready to make a video? There was a part of me that apparently wanted to give me a pep talk, like, come on, dude, let's get pumped, let's do this. Don't worry about feeling empty. Don't worry about feeling like you have nothing to say. Let's do it. So as that question came out of my mouth, I heard a reply forming in my mind. Yes, I'm ready. But at the same time, I noticed that I wasn't feeling ready. I was really hesitant. I was really scared. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll give it a go. I guess I'll throw myself into action and hopefully something shows up, but I'm not really confident that's going to be the case. So as I'm walking up the stairs, listening to this conversation in me as it's happening, I thought, or one of the I's in my head thought, apparently I've got 3 of them, why do I need to be ready? Why does there need to be an I? Why am I measuring myself? Why am I worried about what I'm going to sound like on camera? And are people going to like this? And is it going to be interesting? Why am I worried about that? What does I have to do with this? I have so many things. Or should I say, there are so many things going through my head every day. Today alone, I've recorded over 20 videos that I want to make. 20 extended video notes that I want to actually film. And I've recorded an additional 20 to 30 notes on a book that I just finished this morning and another book that I started this afternoon. And already the juices are flowing, the thoughts are going. I've recorded over an hour and a half of information just today. And I do that every day. But the moment I think about putting a camera to my face, I get this fear that I've got nothing to say. I've got nothing to contribute. I've got nothing of value because I am not of value. And I think that's really the problem or the challenge or simply the situation. That regardless of how much information I interact with on a daily basis or process, there's this part of me that feels empty. There's this part of me that feels like it doesn't have value and that it can't present the information until it has value. Are you ready? Are you ready to be on camera? Because it's going to be me that's judged, not the information. They're going to be looking at me. They're going to say, oh my God, look at his hair. He's got all this gray hair now. He's getting older. His diet clearly hasn't kept him young. Or what do people think of his teeth? What about his voice? He says, you know, a lot. So there's a part of me that's worried about the judgment. We all have that voice, and mine is particularly strong. I'm a very shy person. I'm introverted. I have social anxiety disorder, whatever you want to call it. So me engaging with other human beings, even if they're not in the room with me, but I know they might be watching this video, there's an I that never feels ready. Even though moments ago, sitting in my car, recording my last note, man, was I pumped. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best information. And I was having so much fun thinking about it and playing with it and finding new perspectives to look at it with. And then the moment I think about turning on the camera, blank. I don't know, I'm not ready. I don't feel good. I need to get myself ready. This reminds me of a video I made a few years ago, which I think I titled, Ready or Not, Here I Come. Whether the I is ready or whether the I is not ready, here I come. I is going to be taking these steps regardless of readiness or the sense or feeling of readiness, I is going to take action. And I still stand behind that. I still believe that. But some things have changed for me over the past few years. There's no place for I to go. Like, ready or not, here I come. Well, where is I going, and where has I been? You're either here or you're not here. When the teacher takes attendance and calls your name, Tim Van Orden, here or present, you're either present or you're not. You're either here or you're not. But the funny thing is, even when you're not here, you're still here. You just don't see it. You just don't feel it. I don't feel here. I don't feel full. I don't experience fullness, or at least the I part of me doesn't. And the rest of me is so excited to play with all y'all out there. And the I is like, I don't know if they want to play with me. So my big realization coming up the stairs is that I doesn't need to get ready. I doesn't need to approach here. I's already here. One of the really strange features of the human brain is that it likes to make you think that you're invisible unless you can see yourself, like in a mirror, in a reflection, in a photograph, in a recording of your voice, etc. That if these things are not being captured somehow, you're invisible and therefore you're safe. This is especially true for the introverted mind, like mine. My brain likes to recede into itself, into its thoughts, and to play with them and feel safe in the world because I'm not out there in the world. I'm not interacting with the world. I walk into a room and I disappear and I'm safe. It's not that we're invisible. It's just simply that we're uninteresting. People are like, yeah, I see you, and I really don't care. You're not bringing anything to the table. And I'm not knocking introverts. Please don't hear that. I'm a huge fan of the introverted brain, but it can be challenging in extroverted social situations. And this reminds me of an experience I had last year. I was at the Department of Motor Vehicles renewing my license, and there was a woman, I would guess late 50s, looking quite disheveled, had not done much to herself, and that's fine. Please don't hear that I think women or men should do anything to themselves to go out in public, like they need to get ready before they can go out. I'm actually not a fan of getting ready. Well, this woman had not gotten ready, and she was at the DMV, and they said, okay, step over here to the blue screen and we'll take your photo. And she's like, what, you're gonna take my photo? And they're like, well, yeah, we have to put your photo in the license. And she's like, but I'm not ready for a photo. And they're like, well, if you want to renew the license, you have to take the photo. She's like, well, can I come back in a few minutes? Can I, comb my hair or something? And as I'm watching this transpire, I'm thinking, doesn't she realize that we can see her? Doesn't she realize that the person that she's having the conversation with is looking at her? But if she sees herself in a photograph, or thinks about seeing herself in a photograph, or thinks about other people seeing her in a photograph, like she's measuring her image now, like, oh no, the world is going to see me if you take my photo. I'm invisible until you take my photo. I'm not ready to be visible yet. Hold on, let me get ready and then I can be visible. And we go through life thinking that our actions are not being seen, that our character is not being seen, that the expressions we have in our faces are not being seen. And then there are certain situations that we try to put on a good face for. And we say, okay, I'm ready now. I'm going to put on my social face. I'm going to bring out my social representative, the person that I want to represent myself as, rather than the person I am all the rest of the time. That's what I caught myself doing walking up the stairs, trying to muster my social representative, trying to get ready to make this video right here, not realizing that the camera is always on and I'm always here. And that's a continual challenge for me, and it's one of the great lessons for me as I make these videos and have to work with those feelings that come up in me that say, yeah, you're not good enough to make a video. You can't do it. They're not going to like it. They're going to laugh at you or yell at you or leave horrific comments. And I'm like, yeah, it's got to be perfect. is what it is. In reality, what it is me standing in a stairwell talking to a black dot on my camera with a beautiful view of the mountains outside the window. That's what it really is. You're not even here. So there you have it, a 45-minute explanation to a 10-second thought. I hope there's some value in there for you, something you can relate with. I'm going to keep playing with these thoughts as I go about my day. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Please, right here, subscribe. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. What I didn't want was to spend 15 minutes with this postal employee. That was not on my checklist today. So now I'm frustrated, like you're stopping me from getting to the next thing. And I realized, this is the next thing.